Hey Nick, have you and the other coaches urged the players to vote and register to vote, and talked about the importance of getting that done next week on Election Day?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time when we were still unsure about our season, getting everybody registered to vote. I'll credit Jimmy Lake for bringing it up on a Pac-12 meeting that he got his team. We were getting there, and then I think actually him bringing that up or him putting that out, and then I brought it up on the Pac-12 meeting, kind of led to, all right, let's all get this done in the conference. That's I think, though we want to beat each other, and I understand the rivalry, I think there's certain things that are bigger, and getting all of our kids educated on the voting process, even that I think is a valuable life lesson. So I was appreciative of not only Jimmy getting that done, but all the coaches in the conference. That was an easy one to get on board with, and we were not like anybody was doing a whole lot, but so it gave us time to focus on it. And I think the administration here has done a nice job with not just the football team, every student athlete that was eligible, was hit with a ton of information on the process, and I think it was good for the whole department to get behind that.
Has every player on your team at least registered to vote at this point, to your knowledge, or have you?
Yes, ones that are.
Yeah. The ones that are eligible. Yeah. Okay.
Other questions for Coach? Nothing else?
It's getting easy.
Zach Armstrong, go ahead.
Come on, Zach. Make me feel important, Zach.
Going back to the coaches show last night, I think you were asked to rate the team's readiness on a scale of 1 to 10, and you gave it a 7. What sort of impacted that number, and how do you guys go from maybe a 7 to 8 to 9 to this weekend?
Well, I think it probably had to do with I think they want to play football. I have, a little bit concerned of their preparation, just to be, and when really we've never been to battle together. So I think, trying to touch on all the situations, all the scenarios, all the, sideline emotions. But there is still a level of unknown with all of us. So, I just don't know that I could go out and say, yeah, we're ready to play 10. We could always get better. We have a lot of work to still do. But I think the team is at a higher level than a 7, ready to go battle for each other. But as far as, and I don't know if you, especially with the short training camp and, being completely confident and ready to play, I think you always have question marks, at least. Did we cover this enough? Did we give them enough looks at this? All those things kind of creep in your head.
Theo, go ahead.
How do you think the offense has progressed since the starting quarterback started taking the majority of the reps earlier this week? Can you tell they're at a new level now?
Today was a perfectly good example. I thought it was a horrible start, lack of focus, and we were able to address it and really ended on a real, really the majority of practice was much improved. But I think we've gotten a lot better, but not necessarily because one guy's getting more reps. I think the guys who, maybe aren't getting the same amount of reps are taking that personal, and I think they're playing better too. So I think it elevated the whole room, and in turn will help the offense get better. I think there's improved communication. There's things we learn every day, but I don't think it's necessarily attributed to one guy taking all the reps. I think it really sparked everybody. Okay, I got to get better at this. I'm going to show them that I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to prove them wrong, and that's what we told them to do.
Do you guys plan to practice tomorrow, or have kind of a partial scrimmage or anything like that, or
No.
what does kind of the next few days look like for you?
We'll be on the field the next 2 days, but we don't have a scrimmage plan.
Cody Schuler, go ahead.
Coach, from what you've seen over these, few weeks of practice, what would you say is the strength of this team, whether it's personnel or kind of personality?
Just one of those two options.
No, like it could be a personnel group or it could be kind of a team mentality. What would you characterize the strength of this team?
I think we're putting a lot of trust and faith in the offensive line unit. Really kind of leading the way. I think they know that, and I think they're deserving of that responsibility. Defensively, I'm really happy with the top to bottom commitment to each other. I think at least that's how I see when I watch the defense. I think there's a genuine commitment to each other and to do things right. So, but as far as a group, I think we're gonna lean on that offensive line unit to not only play well between the lines, but I also think guidance in the locker room and just with the team's mindset. I think they're conditioned to do that. I think they're willing to do that. I think they're excited to have a impression on the personality of this football team.
Is that kind of evidenced by two of the four captains being on that offensive line with Liam Ryan and Abe Lucas? Like, is this something that the team has kind of embraced?
I'm sure it has, some connection there. I guess you would say that's probably a true statement.
Any other questions for Coach?
Let's talk about a young man named Hank Platts. The man. You want to see a young man who practices the way I think all Cougs would appreciate. You come watch Hank Platts. Hank Platts.
All right. Thank you, Coach. We'll be right back with Hank.